On today's episode of the DeRaud Messenger Show, we preview and predict Texas Tech versus Texas. Longhorns fans, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. It's greatly appreciated. So to begin, Dylan, as always, we have some basic game info for you guys. The game will be on Saturday at 11 a.m. at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. The game will be televised on ABC, and the Longhorns are currently an 8-point favorite. So, Dylan, what do you got on Texas Tech's scouting report?
Well, the guy at the helm for them is Tyler Shook, Devon. So, he currently has 804 pass yards this season, but he had 399 versus FIU in their win. He's got 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Texas Tech is also 3-0 with wins over Houston and Stephen F. Austin, and as well as IFU that I said earlier. And with their running attack, they've got Taj Brooks, who has currently 284 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 8.1 yards per carry, Devon. But the carries have not been plentiful. He's only got 35 at the moment. Now, wide receiver, they have Kayla Geiger, who currently has 132 yards catching. So it's an offense that it likes to pass around the wealth, Devon. But for them to win this game, they're going to have to rely on their running game with Taj Brooks and Xavier White because they have not used them at all really this season. And if you want to beat Texas, the blueprint was used by Arkansas, and that's to run all over their defense. So that's what I'm going to be looking for out of them, as well as working in that play-action game and obviously limit UT's usage of the RPO with Casey Thompson, because obviously that's a new dynamic of their offense with Casey Thompson starting.
Yeah, Tech's offense, as always, has been putting up numbers. Nothing too insane yet. They've gotten off to a relatively slow start, but we know they have, better things in them. As you said, Tyler Shuck at quarterback, the Oregon transfer, has looked pretty decent. And he also got his favorite target in Eric Azukama. Might have mispronounced that, Tech fans. Let me know how to pronounce it down below. But as you also said, they got Taj Brooks, my bad. Taj Boyd, the quarterback. We're not doing too hot here. But Taj Brooks has looked good, but Longhorns fans are well too familiar with this name. Ready? So Roderick Thompson has also returned off of injury last week. He had a couple of carries for the Red Raiders, but nothing too insane because he's coming off of an injury, off of a shoulder surgery that he had in the offseason. But maybe against Texas, they'll ramp it up a little bit. But Brooks has been good, as you said, so far. He's averaging 94 yards and about a touchdown per game this year. And then also, Dylan, we got some family ties in this one. Brendan Schooler's brother, Colin, is the leading tackler for the Red Raiders. Everyone knows Brendan is the safety for Texas, and Colin, like I said, is the linebacker. And he's already had 21 tackles so far. But another interesting point to mention is that 5 Red Raiders, Dylan, so far have an interception this season. Casey Thompson, watch out. He had one mistake in last game, and it unfortunately was an interception. The Red Raiders will take advantage of that. But Dylan, overall, what do you think about Texas's game against Rice? They rushed for, wait for it, 427 yards against the poor Owls. What are your takeaways from that, and how are they going to move forward against Tech here?
Well, the confidence definitely showed to be back, Devon. They're running all over this Rice team. We expected them to beat them. I know I was generous with Rice and gave them a few points, and I was wrong on that one with the 58-0 blowout. So it's good to see Texas having fun coming off that loss to Arkansas. But what I do look at is if they're going to need to throw the ball, Devon, this game, I don't know if Tech is good enough to force them to. Maybe they could probably stay one-dimensional with the run and run all over this Raider defense and not have to worry about those interceptions that you touched on. But, like I said, for the X factor for this game with Texas, it's going to be Thompson trying to get the ball to everybody. So really, it's going to be on Casey Thompson this game. If he can limit those turnovers and let Bijan Robinson work, I think Texas is going to win this game handedly.
Okay. It's funny because Tech's defensive line doesn't have any big names yet, but when you look at the stats, and I know they've played some okay opponents, but, here's the conference play to up that up a little bit. But Tech has only been averaging 1.7 yards per carry, so my X factor for this game is the Longhorns' offensive line. That unit has been struggling. They looked a little better against Rice, but what do you expect? But there's still some signs of the old in that Rice game. So the Longhorns are definitely not going to be trying to get blown up at that line, but Tech underrated on that defensive front. Maybe they'll be stuffing the run a little bit. I mean, I don't expect it to totally die down. We'll see. Bijan is going to have his work cut out for him, but if the run is not going as efficiently as usual, Casey Thompson's going to have to look to pass. And like I said earlier, 5 Tech players have already had an interception this season, which means that Casey's going to have to be on his game, making throws timely, in a timely manner, on cue. But honestly, I think really that's the fun matchup for me. I don't know too much about Tech's line individually.
That's what I'm going to be looking at for sure, is whether they can force them to throw the ball. That's when it'll get interesting. That's when you might be able to get into upset territory if that were to occur. So, I mean, as a fan watching this game, if UT is able to run all over this, underrated defensive line of Tech, that's a good sign. But if Casey Thompson is having to throw the ball, that's where you're going to want to see if Texas is a changed team coming off the game against Arkansas.
Definitely, and there's been some inconsistencies just with the receivers in general for Texas. Jordan Whittington looked good week 1. Week 2, he had still leading the team in receiving yards, but had a drop or two. And then guys like Xavier Worthy had a good game against Rice, but yet again, we need to see consistency from that group. Where's Joshua Moore been? Jared Wiley had a touchdown in the game against Rice, but he's going to also have to show up. Cade Brewer starting at tight end, so like you said, that's kind of the game and facet of the game that I'll be looking at along with that offensive line. Now, Dylan, we love this part of our videos. What is the danger level here?
Well, Devon, based off Texas Tech's schedule, it's hard to get to really know how they're going to be doing going into Big 12 play. But for UT, their danger level, I'm giving it a 4. I mean, this is a rivalry matchup. Texas Tech always plays them well. Luckily, this is going to be in Austin rather than going to Lubbock. So I like Texas's chances more, as well as, maintaining that confidence. So, like I said, giving it a 4.
Okay, last year's game was in Lubbock, and I gave it a 3. So can we guess what I'm going to give it here? A 5.
I'm going to give it a 2.
A 5. I went a little more generous. I saw what they did against the Longhorns last year. I'm going to up it a little bit. You said it's in Austin, and that's true. But one thing I know about you Tech fans is that you guys travel very well. And there will definitely be a lot of Red Raiders in the stadium. Hopefully for Texas, not too many, but there will be there. So overall, I think a 5 is just. Now, what's your prediction?
I've got UT winning this game 38-30. I believe this running game is going to get them out to a hot start, possibly 14-0 in the first quarter. So I don't see Texas Tech really bringing themselves back in the game at that point.
Okay, I got the Longhorns as well. I got them winning 41-34. But the thing here is, which Longhorn team are we going to see? Are we going to see Arkansas Longhorns, or are we going to see the Rice Longhorns?
Oh, God.
And that's a big difference. If we see the Arkansas Longhorns, it would not surprise me if Tech is able to win this one pretty easily. But yet again, with that said, I have the Longhorns. They're probably going to look a little better than they did against Arkansas, but I don't think they're going to run away with this one like the Rice game. Expect for Whittington, Xavier Worthy, Casey Thompson to be in rhythm here. But yet again, the unit to watch, as always, for these Longhorns this season is that offensive line.
And this is where we're going to need to be looking at coaching, Devon. If that mindset has changed for these players, they're going to get kicked in the mouth. Are they going to respond this game, or are they going to let Texas Tech let them want it more? And possibly upset them.
We need Kyle Flood to be serving some pancakes on the sidelines. But what do you guys think about this game? Let us know your predictions down below. You too, Tech fans. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.